right. I wish to start the meeting for Tuesday, April 3rd. This is the regular Board of Selectmen meeting at 7 p.m. I call the meeting to order, and will advise to you all that we are being brought live through Whitman Hanson Cable Access. We would like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and today we have Mr. Robert Lynn to lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready when you are, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and thank you, guys. Thank you, Robert. All right. We have a good agenda tonight. I think it's something that we can navigate through without any issues. Announcements. Open burning season will run until April 30th. Permits will be available at Fire Headquarters, 505 Liberty Street, daily from 9 to 5. The cost of a permit is $20, payable by check or money order made out to the town of Hanson. No cash will be accepted. All voters and residents who have not returned their 2018 census form are urged to do so by the town clerk. Any voter that has not returned their 2018 town census form will be placed on the inactive voter list for future elections. Volunteers are needed on the following committees: the 200th Anniversary, Agricultural, Capital Improvement, Community Preservation Commission, Disabilities, Elder Affairs, Energy, Finance, Memorial Day Patriot Observance, Nathaniel Thomas Mill Committees, School Repair and Recreation Commission. Applications for appointment and info on the committee is available on the town website at www.hanson-ma.gov. Upcoming meetings, we have the Plymouth County Hospital Reuse Committee will be held Wednesday, April 4th at 4 p.m. Water Department will hold a meeting at Wednesday, April 4th, 7 p.m. at Town Hall. We have the School Committee meeting will be held Monday, April 9th at 6 p.m. The Selectmen's meeting will be held Tuesday, April 10th and Tuesday, April 17th, both at 7 p.m. And finally, the Nathaniel Thomas Mill will be holding their meeting Tuesday, April 12th at 7 p.m. Okay, so that does all of our Pledge of Allegiance, public announcements, and upcoming meetings. New business. We have on our agenda tonight, review and vote on the town administrator contract extension agreement resulting from the March 20th executive session. And I have my notes here. So this is, again, this is the board's executive session contract negotiations with Town Administrator Mike McHugh on March 20th, 2018. And I wish to report that the following occurred at that session. Town Administrator Mike McHugh provided a list of accomplishments in his position, and he requested a 3-year extension to the terms of his employment agreement. There was a brief discussion about the accomplishments. Mike cited his performance and the importance of having continuity in the town administrator's office. The board voted 5-0 unanimous to approve a 3-year extension to Mike's employment agreement, subject to the board's review and approval of a document reflecting the extension. I note that there are no changes to the substance of the terms of the existing agreement except to change the dates. Essentially, it's a 3-year extension of the terms of the current employment agreement so that the current agreement will now run through June 30th, 2022. And with that, I'd like to ask Mike now to repeat the list of accomplishments that he offered at executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's kind of lengthy. I'm going to try to go through them quickly. We successfully negotiated all the union contracts with favorable terms to include changing the insurance for future employees. The savings going forward will be approximately $4,000 per family plan and $1,500 per an individual plan. We are on the verge of completion of the septic system at Camp Kewanee. It's significant savings in pumping costs after years of delays. I oversaw Camp Kewanee during the transition with no loss in revenue or disruption of operations. I initiated, recommended auditor changes for accountability and wrote a new comprehensive policy and procedures. I assisted in the investigation of the camp with the assigned attorney, and we came to an amicable settlement of such. I oversaw the demolition of the Plymouth County Hospital and the distribution of street sweeping materials on the site. The project came in under budget by $700,000.
Not done yet.
Created with Phil Clemens, the Plymouth County Hospital Reuse Survey, which has been useful in terms of us moving forward on reuse. Participated in the tax possession auction that was conducted, brought in over $150,000, and another one we conducted late spring or early summer. Settled the fiscal year 19 budget cooperatively with the school department, helped create a good working relationship with them. Oversaw the signing of the Whitman Hanson Community Access Contract for the next 10 years. Helped the town secure the funds for the reconstruction of Route 14, McQuon Street. Put together and settled contracts with the collector treasurer, the assessor, highway surveyor, and fire chief. We began the commencement of filming committee meetings that hadn't been filmed previously. We were able to fund and fill the police lieutenant and deputy fire chief positions. I believe that I've improved communications with other elected and appointed boards and committees. We hired a new health agent and a veterans agent, and we have also filled other union positions successfully. Helped in the awarding of the $400,000 for Complete Streets grant. Have started outreach via Council on Aging coffees and annual presentations to the Historical Society. We are very close to concluding the search for a regional IT director, and I have championed other regional approaches with other towns for cost savings and greater efficiencies. I successfully had the town be designated as a community compact community, and was able to put together an event with the lieutenant governor that was held here. I obtained the funding and spearheaded a renewed Boston Post cane program. I'm assisting in the Smitty Boggs NRCS grant. We are working and close to achieving green community designation, which will result in substantial funding for the town. Have been assisting the Highway Building Committee, and I will oversee the RFP process for the engineering process. I have done an extensive review of all town insurance options, and was able to, although we stayed with Mayflower, was able to come up with the most advantageous and cost-effective solution for the employees. Just recently secured approximately $12,000 a year in savings, electrical savings via the Blue Wave Solar Project. I have identified a potential successful cell tower site on town property, and I believe that within the next couple of weeks I'll be putting an RFP out for the same. Assisted in securing the Conway School for Plymouth County Hospital planning with the committee for other reuse issues. We retained a new engineering firm, promulgated several new policies and procedures, obtained ADA certification so that I can assess town properties, saved the town Christmas tree from the fire department location and obtained funds to cover the move. So far I've settled all grievances that have come from the union at my level, as opposed to it raising to the Board of Selectmen level. I oversaw the funding for the grant that will have us obtain a new COA grant, and I'm working on new service for the town with BAT. Achieved the final tear down of a problematic property on Ocean Ave, and we're also close to having a cleanup on another problematic property on Depot Street. We are embarking on installing a new town hall security system in the next couple of months. Work to reestablish the Economic Development Committee, and I've established contacts with the state to assist us in such. I've been proactive in the marijuana issue, proposed a moratorium, although that failed, and I have been assisting in the concurrent bylaws, or the bylaws that are coming up. I've identified a means of auctioning off surplus supplies within the town, which fit in with procurement laws, and we've sold many pieces of property at an appreciable amount of money. I've worked with the library trustees on new hires, also with building repairs and their future planning. I've assisted the historical committee in obtaining a historical inventory grant. I've worked with the water department to settle some personnel issues. I instituted the WEX card program for accountability and backup fueling needs. And I've obtained Tree City designation for the town of Hanson. And on a much lighter note, I established a history science program at 2 Hanson schools with the ginkgo seeds that I've received from Hiroshima. And that's what I have, sir.
Thank you, Mike. So, again, I had asked Mike to bring, upon his request for this, I had asked him to put this list together, and I know Mike's a bit embarrassed probably from reading it.
Yes.
But I appreciate you doing what I asked on that. Thank you, Mike. So this was the list of accomplishments that was read and that we read at the March 20th session, an executive session. I've summarized what the board members said at the March 20th, 2018 session. Basically, this is my notes for this. So basically, we had come to a conclusion on the vote. We had talked to Mike about these particular points and the performance of these. You cannot have one without the other. So I'm offering now to any board member the opportunity to repeat, add to, what they said at executive session. And anybody can add anything in here. I think one of the things I'd like to just make a notation to, Mike, is that we had some concerns that we talked to you about, and we had addressed those without issue. So in terms of maybe his time here in the office, which personally I think it would be foolish for us to micromanage anybody on it, especially with the list of accomplishments that have come through. Does anybody else have anything that they wish to say that was said at the meeting?
We did discuss that, and we discussed that there's been improvement in terms of communication about hours that are being kept, and that that's something that he knows that the board wants to continue,
Yep.
to have an open dialogue about hours that are kept. Again, not to micromanage, because this is a professional position, and there are things that are going to be required outside of normal business hours that he is, that he needs to do. So it's an ebb and a flow, but there needs to be a good balance. One of the things that I think that we discussed that I think is important is that we need to have stability in this position. There's been too much instability, and it really wreaks havoc with trying to get into some of these policies and establishing long-term visions. You can't have people coming and going every 6 months or a year and be able to establish a good, solid, long-term vision and work towards that vision. And
That's a great point,
that's
Laura.
one of the things we had discussed, and I think it bears repeating, because it's vital, and it's one of the things that I think is our responsibility as a Board of Selectmen, is to make sure that we've got a good foundation, not just for ourselves, but for others that might come after us, and to make sure that we are setting policy, we're dealing with personnel matters. All of these things require longevity in the role. This isn't a temp job.
Right.
And it, in some ways, has become a temp job over the last couple of years with the tenure that we've had for people. I do think it bears mentioning that we did not do a comprehensive performance review, but are planning on doing that at some. I don't know if we've set the actual date for that, but I know sometime in the next month.
Michael notified.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at that time, any other, performance-related concerns would be addressed. But I've always found anything that I had concerns with, I would either go through you to Mike or directly to Mike, and they've been resolved, so.
Thanks, Laura. I do want to point out, too, one of the things that I want to point out is that, I know it's an election year, and I get it, that, people feel that, some people, they might say, well, this is being rushed, blah, 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 pushed through, whatever you want to say. But the fact of the matter is that over the course of 2017, Mike had asked for this before then, and I had agreed that we'd put it onto the agenda to be asked, okay? But we pushed it off. We kept pushing it off, because he did take care of other business and other people with regard to their contracts, the treasurer collector, assessor, highway chief, and some of the other hirings that we've dealt with over the course of time. So we didn't always have time in a lot of 2017 to put this out there. So this, in my opinion, was the most fair thing to do. I think I think we're very fortunate to have Mike for this job, and I do agree completely with regarding to the stability issue that this town needs. And I'm just very pleased. I'm very pleased, Mike, and I hope you're here for a lot longer than just the time that we've been, so. Okay, so, does anybody else wish to say anything?
I agree with both of yous. You know, I was very happy with, when we brought Mike, the couple concerns we had, his answers for overcoming those, he's a hands-on guy. He likes to get out there and go places and meet people, and he's gonna really work, try, hard to maybe email more people and not go out. And so when, what he said to us, I was very happy, and I'm happy to have you here for another 3 years, Mike.
Okay.
4 years.
Also, the Plymouth County Hospital is down.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
The antenna is also down. And we save money on that, right, Mike?
Yes, a lot of money.
Yeah, that was an act of God, but it was still done under our watch, so that's terrific.
Again, we haven't reviewed his performance.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a perfect person. None of us are perfect. Those things will be addressed in time, and we've found him to be responsive. And I think this is really a matter of let's secure the future. Let's work with somebody who has demonstrated that he's responsive and proactive, and laying a good foundation. And this to me is a show of faith that we think he's done a substantially good enough job that we want to see him stay with us. And so I think we need to make a commitment, just as we're asking him to make a commitment, or we would ask anybody else to make a commitment.
And another thing, Mr. Chairman, is when he came to us, not once did he ask for additional compensation.
Excellent point.
It was more the stability with his family and stuff. So, I thought that was pretty stand-up, because he could have certainly asked us for, an increase in salary, and that he didn't at all, so.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to
appreciate
clarify, I don't want him to think that he's stuck with this raise, this
Yeah,
rate. I
well,
mean,
the
he
normal
will get
that
the
everyone
normal,
else.
right, okay.
Right. And he didn't ask for additional.
I just wanted that out there.
Well, that's important to know.
Thank you, Mary. That is,
So, all the existing conditions of Mike's contract are still in effect, okay? Everything is still in effect. The only thing that we're doing is extending it for the 3 years, okay? So, if something egregious occurred, which I doubt highly that would ever occur, certainly the board could go back and take a look at that, and they can make act on the best interest of the town. My point here is that those terms and those conditions have remained the same, with the exception, the only thing that's changed is the length of the term. We've added the 3 years, okay?
And that's not an unimportant point. I hope you don't mind me paraphrasing you, Don, but Don basically said, look, if he doesn't do his job, we can still get rid of him. I mean, that's the
Don
bottom
was
line.
very clear about that.
Yeah.
No
Right?
offense, Mike, and that, we doubt very much that'll happen.
I mean, you said, let's not gild the lily. And
Yeah.
I mean, that was the bottom line. And obviously, that's none of our intention, but,
Right.
that-
It's
All
there.
contracts
Yeah.
got that in it
Yeah.
Yep,
anyway.
all of them do. Okay, so all board members have a document titled Employment Agreement Extension in front of them. The purpose of the document is to extend the town administrator, Mr. McHugh's employment agreement through June 2022. So you guys should see it. It's a one-page
I
document in
had it.
front of you.
Yep.
Looks like this, Donnie?
Got it.
You good?
It's item 1.
Yeah. It's on our
On the
iPads,
iPad.
too.
This one?
Yes, that's it.
So I would ask, is there any discussion on the employment agreement extension? Any questions? All
Well,
right.
I did have one question. I do want to extend, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm wondering, where did we come up with that length of time? Because it does seem like a little bit long, but I don't know what, I don't really know what the standard is for this.
Well, I think Mike's existing contract was 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, right, Mike?
Correct.
And your 2-year anniversary is coming up on mid-April?
Correct,
April
13th.
13th? So I think that's where we came up with
Okay.
the extra
All right.
time.
So the 3 years gets added on to the existing 1 year.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes. And again, the board has the option to do this, so we've taken that option and have now put in front of us. So I would entertain a motion. Is there a motion to approve the employment agreement extension?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Made and seconded. Okay, All those in favor say aye. Aye. 4-0 on the vote. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next, we have on our agenda, why
Don't you need to take the Boy Scouts?
would you guys mind if I move out of order?
Yeah.
Would you guys,
Yeah.
No.
We give-
you know, you don't mind? Thank you, Donnie. I thought he said no. Okay, that's good.
Let's
Okay.
hurry up.
Nope, you're right, I asked the question. So we are here with the Boy Scouts, Whitman Boy Scouts, is that correct, gentlemen? Right, and we have a request for a fishing derby Saturday, August 18th, from 8 AM to 4 PM at McQuon? It's, right?
Not McQuon.
Not McQuon,
No.
Wampatuck, forgive me.
Wampatuck
Whoa,
Pond.
where am I going? Okay. So, it says we're looking to do on the Derby on August 18th from 8 to 4 PM. This will be open to the community and all of scouting. The scout who's handling this event is Robbie Lynn. Mr. Lynn, do you want to say something? Would you come on up to the podium, if you will? Or you can stand in front of it if you want, and just say your name, okay? So the people of Hanson can see you, all right?
Hi, I'm Robbie Lynn.
Speak up, too. Some of us can't hear well.
Hi, I'm Robbie Lynn.
Okay, what did you want to ask? Do you have it in front of us, or?
I wanted to know if we could use the bathrooms in here for the event.
Good question, great idea, too. So, yeah, I think that can be done. Am I right, Mike?
I'm gonna look into trying to
Absolutely,
do
we can
that.
be doing it, yep. We'll probably have maybe a scout just monitor just in the area, right? Or not, maybe in the adults. That's right. Anything else? What, I'm sorry, Donnie?
No, in past years, didn't they get portable toilets?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
they have.
That's probably what they'll have to do.
You think? Why?
Well,
Plan
it
to
just
be
gets a
here.
little tricky with, and it's no offense, I'm sure, you know, you guys, but opening up the town hall, there's really no way to secure the rest of the building to make sure nobody's
No one
going
will be
through
here
it.
to be responsible for it.
Yeah, but, you know, Thomas, am I hallucinating, or does Thomas Mill have a porta potty over there, or
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
they
I
have
think-
some very rudimentary functioning bathroom over there, which, you know, but yeah, it may end up being, we may need to have them have a porta potty.
Yeah, well, I'll
Yeah.
work with the
Work
troop,
on it?
we'll see
Okay.
if we can work something out.
And the reason why, and I'm sorry, Robbie, you know what I was thinking of was the Christmas time. When we have Christmas, we have the building open, but that's because we have all the departments.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
So I apologize, that's my bad. But we'll look into it and we'll get you situated, don't sweat. Is there anything else that I may have forgotten, or did you? You're gonna have some vendors there, I hear, huh?
Yeah, we will be serving lunch with hot dogs, chips, and a drink provided to all the registered participants.
Excellent. How much does it cost? Is that just if you register, or is it
Yeah.
additional?
That's a $5 per person, lunch included, so it covers the
deal.
patch and the lunch.
That's
That seems
terrific.
very reasonable.
Yeah,
Good.
that's terrific. And whoever catches the biggest fish, all the trophies, those type of things will be occurring, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Now, are you guys gonna be cooking everything on site? You might wanna just check with the Board of Health guys, see if there's anything there. I don't know, but just make sure we don't wanna have anybody struck ill.
We have serve-safe people within the troops. so-
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have a question. Are you working towards the Eagle Scout someday?
Yeah.
Good, we'll see you up here in front of us then. That'll be
We have
good.
plenty of projects in town that need to be done, so come back and see us.
Yeah. Okay, so I would entertain, is there anything else, sir?
No?
No?
Other than that,
You got everything covered? Well, I wish you good luck and good weather on that day, guys, honestly, okay? And I'll tell you what, if you drop one of the hot dogs, you can give that one to me, because that's what happens at home.
That's fish bait.
It's $5, tell them you'll draw
That's
them.
right.
You got the 5-second rule, as long as it's not within more than 5 seconds, it's okay, right? Okay, so I would entertain a motion to accept the request from the Whitman Boy Scouts Fishing Derby Saturday, August 18th, from 8 AM to 4 PM.
So moved.
Second?
Made and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, guys.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice job.
Yep, good luck.
Okay,
I'll take that.
why don't we move up to item
Oh,
2?
thank you.
Back to item 2 on our agenda, which is the declare
Nice
animal control
fly.
vehicle as a surplus. This is a 2007 Ford F-150, and the VIN number is 1F as in Frank, T as in Thomas, R as in Rob, X as in xylophone, 4W, 17F as in Frank, B as in boy, 58782. Again, this is, we're declaring the animal control officer vehicle as a surplus. I did see an email on here, didn't I, Mike, saying that might be best to,
Junk
to
it.
junk
Oh,
it?
yes,
That's
yeah.
item 2.
Yeah, that's item 2. So you'll see that from David Hanlon. He says, let me know when the decision is made, that way they can strip the lights, radios, and stickers from it. So-
Yeah, it's useless.
So I would entertain a motion to accept this vehicle as I read as as surplus.
So move.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0 on that vote. All right, next we have a water truck surplus. This is terrific, Donnie, I guess, right? Please be advised that the Board of Water Commissioners voted at their meeting on March 28, 2018, to turn over to the town administrator for surplus, as is,
When we get
the
to
Water
that.
Department's 2013 Ford F-150 serial number.
I don't think you have to read it.
Same one.
It's the same one. No, well,
No,
it's
just,
not.
no, it's a different one.
I don't have to read it, right, Mike, or do I?
No.
Okay. It looks like that we got the certificate of title here, and
Yeah.
basically you're giving it to us to transfer this to the animal control officer.
Correct. Yes, and we appreciate the water department.
Yeah, I just have one question. Is this truck in good shape,
Yeah.
Donnie? Is it?
Yeah.
It's only 5 years old.
This one's in decent shape.
Okay. How many miles are on it, do we know?
I think 50 some odd.
Okay, good.
It had
said
10
that.
back.
It's only a 13, I'm like, we're surplus,
Oh, yeah,
we're in trouble, with a 5-year-old truck.
2013.
So, good, so they're gonna put it to good use.
From what I understand, it wasn't quite in keeping with what they needed, so it was superfluous, and the water department was kind enough to allow us to take it over to replace the truck we just junked.
Right, okay,
Excellent.
good, thank you.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to declare the water truck as surplus and transfer it to the animal control.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0. That's terrific. Item 4, recreation. We have revisions to the policies and procedures. If you look on item 4 on your iPads, you'll see as you go through it, those items in red, which are the changes to this, right, Mike?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, I only saw one correction, maybe some questions, but instead of, I think it should be 501c3, as opposed to what's on here, which is 5013, no, is that what I said? 5013C?
It should be 501c3.
C3, yes, it should be
Yep.
C3, that's what I said. So
What
that's no
page, what
big
page
deal.
is that on?
That is on page 10, under item 5, under donated use of facility. But if you guys.
Yeah, it says 5013.
It says, 5013, it should, 501c3 it should say. So, they had made some changes. If you'd like, I can read the red. Some of them, only one I think on page 6 is kind of lengthy, but it's not too much. Under participants' code of conduct and recreational programs, they put, and I thought this was a good add, participants must stay within the program space allowed and will not be permitted to leave without a parent or guardian's written permission with names on the release form, So that apparently must be for minors, right? Service, going to page 6, there was some items that they had mentioned. Mike, there's asterisk on these too. Each one is asterisk. Is that just to tell us that it's new?
Yeah, I believe it's just to indicate what's new, since I don't think you have that in color.
Okay, because I was looking.
They're
for-
looking on the iPads. They should be,
Okay.
it's in color on the
It
iPads,
is,
right?
okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
we don't have it on a high copy.
Yeah.
Do you,
I just
would
wanted
you
to make
like
sure-
me to call Anne Marie down if you have any questions? She said she'd come down, but I just didn't know when we were gonna get to this.
I don't think we have any.
Questions.
I think
Okay.
we'll be
I read
good.
it already, I
Okay,
don't
good.
have any
Yeah.
questions.
I think these were basic common sense adds. Refunds will not be made for nonprofits in the code for rain dates on rentals or swimming. Bookings of up to 1 year following the rain date may be made as compensation for nonprofits. Service comfort animals are welcomed with proper documentation present. Fees shall be charged at fundraisers for nonprofit events unless voted upon by the Recreation Commission to waive such fees and approved by the Board of Selectmen. That makes sense.
I like that one.
I do too, but they didn't spell wave correctly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I saw that too, I know.
Well, it's wave because of the water, the
Well,
waves.
it didn't pick up probably because of that reason. Yeah. I don't know if they take context interviews, is it grammar? Okay, caretakers and/or staff shall be on location during all events for safety and security purposes. All meetings will be audio and/or video recorded. I would
like
say
that,
as
too.
best, because there might be times like when the camera fails or something, but it's up to
Well, they've
them.
got no electricity like we
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
today.
good point.
Yep.
But that's my
Maybe
recommendation.
sneak a note on that, Mike, just to
Yeah.
maybe
Best.
add something on there, but.
During designated holidays, Camp Kewaunee will be closed. On those dates, rentals will not be available. All contracted services need to meet Camp Kewaunee costs for services needed for their contracted programs. For example, caretaker payroll for such event.
I like all these, I think this is good,
Yeah. And then,
you know?
yeah,
just-
some of the other items, and I'm almost done. All Cove staff must fill out timesheets daily and turn them in weekly. Cove deposits must be made daily to the lodge.
What does all contracted services need to meet Camp Kewauney's costs for services needed for their contracted programs mean?
You can waive you can waive the fees, but they're requesting that the actual cost for the event be covered. In other words, if caretakers are there, and that we're paying the caretakers, that whoever we make the waiver for does still pay for the work that's done. So, again, the rec commission and the board have the authority to waive fees, but not necessarily waive costs.
That makes sense, but I feel like the language here is actually making my eyes cross, but I feel all contracted services need to, perhaps it should say need to cover the costs Camp Kewaunee would incur for such services, or something like that. I don't know. Do you see, it's kind of a
I understand. I understand it just because.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds too bad.
Well, okay.
Contracted services need to meet Camp Kewauney's cost for services needed for their contracted programs. And it gives the example. I think,
All right, maybe it's just
I think
me.
I understood it when I read it,
Okay.
but
I don't feel strong enough
tweak.
about it to kick up
It's
a
okay.
storm.
Thanks, Laura. Hanson residents are permitted one free night's rental in a non-electric cabin when they have paid for at least one night when they have paid for at least one prior night subject to availability. Does not apply to group rentals. Hanson residents must show proof of residency with a photo ID, tax, and utility bills for rentals as well. Nonprofits must show proper documentation for discounted services, and again, we need a correction on the 501c3 certification. Moving on to page 11, was a change to an address, which is Lon Woodward at hanson.ma.gov. All emails should be sent to that address. I think that's all I had. That's all I could read, that's all that was in red. So I would entertain a motion to accept as amended for the 501c3, of course, right, page 10.
Yep, so moved.
second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion or questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to commend the Recreation Committee, the commission rather, just for going through the policies and procedures, you know, and update them like that. I love all these. I read them on Sunday, so I think it's all good stuff, so
Yeah, it is.
appreciate their
Their
efforts.
efforts.
It's just nice to see things moving along over there, nice, everything's just falling into place, yeah, so.
I agree.
Very happy what's going on over there.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Let's put it to vote. All those in favor of accepting the policies and procedures from the Recreation Commission, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. 0. And please, Mike and Mary, make sure you pass on our thanks to Anne Marie. She's done a great job up there, okay?
Will do.
And the staff, the board, forgive me. Review and approve the town vehicle policy and protected classes policy. This is item 5, Mike, on our agenda, is that right?
Yes.
So we have had some recent law changes regarding people, is that right? Was it pregnant women?
Yeah, the second policy addresses that. All we've really done is taken the equal employment opportunity and added in the new protected class, which came into law a few months or so ago, which affords pregnant women the additional coverage, the additional protections from being, segregated against.
Okay.
So nothing really, nothing changes from the past. I think the board may remember, I think about a year or so ago, we added yet another protected class, and I think that was I think that was people that were predisposed to genetic diseases and things of that nature. It's,
Hey, Mike, am I right to say that we're only reviewing the protected classes policy, we're not doing the town vehicle policy?
also the town vehicle policy, and all I've done with that is, like I do from time to time, I tune them up a little bit. And this one, I just put in a little more affirmative language in regards to requesting mileage on using personal vehicles. I put in a bit more of a procedure in terms of trying to use the municipal vehicles, since we actually are in pretty good shape in terms of what we've got for vehicles now. So it's not a prohibition against people using their own vehicles, but, they need to seek permission. We got to make sure there's no town vehicle available. And when I first got here, we were paying what I thought was sort of an exorbitant amount of money in terms of mileage requests, and like I said, since then, we're a little better in terms of our vehicle situation. I think we're gonna be even better after the first of the fiscal year, so.
Do we have a copy, Mike, or no?
You should.
No, we don't.
It's not on there?
No.
No.
Because I was gonna ask the same question Jim did. We only have equal opportunity policy statement.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I didn't-
I'm sorry.
I usually
So we-
cross-check the stuff beforehand.
We can,
We can
we'll
come
throw
back.
this on for next week.
Yeah,
I'll put it
that's
on for next
fine.
week. I mean, I've got,
That's fine, Mary. No sweat.
And there's no
Laura
hurry.
and Dawn have a actually hard copy of it. I don't give them to you guys, because I
See,
usually
Jim
put this
has-
on the
I don't
website.
know if we actually got the hard copy.
Yeah, you should have.
Okay, well,
Mary says you got a hard copy.
hold that thought. Do you
After-
want
No,
me to
I-
share it, or are we
but-
tabling it till next week?
We'll table it till next time.
There's no
Oh,
rush.
look at that, John put his hands right on it. Okay.
That's
I was gonna
okay.
say,
That
after
would
4
be it.
years, Mary finally made a mistake.
That's okay, Mary, no sweat. We can, you know what, Mike, we'll just review, put it on for next week.
Yeah, and that's fine, like I said, it's just, I just bring them up every once in a while when I want to update them, and it's certainly not pressing, although I would recommend, and you seem all to be aware of the
You know what,
protective
Mary-
class policy. It really is something that we should
I read
vote
the
on.
protective class policy, but I assumed it would be like on that same item and flip up and
That's what
see
I
it.
thought too.
Yeah, and I didn't do it as a separate item, so.
That's cool.
So we have to vote on that.
So we vote on the protected classes policy.
Yes.
Okay? And we'll table the approval for the town vehicle policy, as Mike mentioned, until next week. So I would entertain a motion to accept or to vote to accept the equal opportunity policy statement, which is for the protected classes policy.
Second.
Made and seconded. Further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0. And the right table. All right, we're moving right along. We have the annual Hanson Little League Annual Road Race. That is item 6. And this is from a good friend, Mr. Paul Clark, Head of Fundraising for Hanson Little League. The Hanson Little League Board is requesting permission to have our annual road race once again to be held at Damien's Pub on Saturday, May 5th, 2018 at 10 a.m. We will be using the same route, and I believe that goes along 58, guys, to Holly Ridge, Holly Ridge, that we've run in the last 7 years. We will be in contact with both the police department as well as the fire department, as we have in the past. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at Mr. Clark's number, which he has placed on this letterhead. So I would entertain a motion to accept the Hanson Little League's request for, to run their road race on Saturday, May 5th, 2018 at 10 a.m.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
All the police and everybody been notified.
Yeah, yes, they'll notify police and fire. Yep.
And when I send them a letter saying it's been approved, I always send a copy to police and fire as
Police
well.
and fire,
And that's a very organized road race.
Yeah, this
I
isn't their
tell ya.
first rodeo or road race, whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
Rocky's a good guy. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0 on that. Hey, if I'm not mistaken too, aren't they having their parade April 7th?
We had already approved that.
Yeah, but they're having it this week. We should put it in the announcement. That's my bad.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Not a
even
big
know
deal.
that.
So Hanson Little League will be having their parade this Saturday at 12 p.m. at the town hall. Okay, moving on to item 8. We have a request from Karen Pelton, McQuon and Indian Head Box Top Coordinator, requesting a fee waiver for 2 Cranberry Cove season passes as a raffle item. So these are going to be raffle items. We have a waiver request for item 8. The only thing I think we should do next time, Mike, it's not a big deal, but make sure we use the same form which should have the 501c3 information on it. We should use one consistent form.
Yeah, we are working on, as the board requested, updating that to reflect.
Well, she did, last time, they had an
There was
updated-
one little
There's-
tweak
there's-
we had talked about.
Yeah, there's some more things that we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
tweak,
yeah,
but.
okay. So, just to, for transparency, this was filed on March 23rd, from Karen Pelton. And again, she's the coordinator box tops for both McQuon and Indian Head schools. Karen Pelton requested 2 Cranberry Cove season passes, 1 for each school, for the end-of-year raffle prizes for student box tops winners. Season passes are at $80 each. Recreation Commission approved this request on March 12, 2018, at their meeting, and they wish to seek the Board of Selectmen approval. The date or hours of the event are again June 2018, and again, this is for 2 Cranberry Cove passes.
I move that we grant the waiver of the fee for the 2 Cranberry Cove passes for Karen Pelton on behalf of the box shops for McQuon and Indian Head School.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
No, but I would like to say, I think this is fabulous. First of all, it's gonna be great PR for the
Yep.
goals, which is awesome. And it will reward 2 little people for collecting all the box tops and everything, so it's a win-win.
That's right. Well, those days have come and gone for us, huh?
Yep.
Maybe when we get grandkids. What do you
Oh,
think?
God.
Yeah.
All right, let's not.
She has a unique email address too.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. 4-0. Thank you, Karen, for putting this request in. Okay, item 9 and 10 are relevant and related. We
Mike
have,
just arrived too.
You
He just slid right in.
Unbelievable time.
We're just not doing
thank you very much.
Timing.
You must have been watching us from your phone up there, right?
So we have item 9. This is a Dollars for Scholars request to declare April as Dollars for Scholars Month. Mike, do you want to say anything, or are you good?
Just that we appreciate your support, and we're doing our annual appeal right now, so it's very timely, and that's why hopefully you'll
Declare it?
give us permission to put the thermometer up and also declare the.
I don't see any problem with it.
Okay,
We'll
thank
get
you.
to the next one. So let's, I would entertain a motion to declare April as Dollars for Scholars Month.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. I should read to you that over the past 10 years, this declaration has assisted our organization in publicizing our events and activities and has helped us substantially in our fundraising success. We'll make sure Tracy gets this information too. Right? Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Any further comments or questions?
Nope, just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keep on trucking.
Absolutely, Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0. Next, Dollars for Scholars, request to erect annual fundraising thermometer during April and May. Again, this thermometer will alert residents to the financial need of our students and how they can help by making a donation. Mike has thanked us very much, and Mike and the board has thanked us very much for the past support, and will gladly answer any questions that we have to ask here today. Are there any questions?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I always personally look forward to seeing the thermometer creep up there.
Okay, yeah,
And then you keep us in suspense until 2 days before graduation, and then it,
it's approximately 6 to 8 weeks, and it'll be placed from the beginning of April to the end of May. Yep. All right. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Did we move it?
Did we make a motion?
so moved.
I thought you did, Laura.
No, I
Second.
didn't. That was the first one.
Second.
Oh, moved in second. Now we can vote.
I'm
All those in
watching you.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I can see it on Facebook if it wasn't done right.
Michael, do you want this?
Okay. Old business, we have none. Mike, thanks again.
No, thank you very much.
Old business, we have none. That's good to know, right? Town administrators report, Mr. Mike McHugh.
Not very much, sir. I wanted to let the board know that I was in contact with the second potential cell tower company who has expressed interest in the location that we previously discussed. I'm going to be meeting with the school committee at some point in the next couple of weeks, just to make sure that the process is inclusive, because it is on property that the school is leasing. Preliminary discussions with them, there's that they have no opposition to this, but like I said, I want to make sure this is a cooperative, inclusive process. After which time I will put out the RFP, which is already written, and we'll move forward, and hopefully very successfully. My understanding is there are at least 2 carriers very interested in the location as well, hence the interest by the cell tower companies. I was with Selectman Howard yesterday and other members of staff, and we had a conversation about the progress of the Complete Streets project, as well as Route 14. I'm not sure if Selectman Howard wants to speak to it, but in a nutshell, it's moving forward. We have deadlines to keep. I think with it, we are going to make all of those. We are putting together, or I'm reaching out to have a conversation with some of the property owners that could possibly be affected, or it would be nice to have a cooperative conversation with them in regards to the Complete Streets project at County High and Liberty. So hopefully, again, we'll have those conversations to everyone's satisfaction. Along those lines, I will note that the chairman and I did go to a event at which officially we were awarded that $395,000 or so in Winthrop. There is a certificate that was awarded or handed to both the chairman and myself that Mary has in front of her right here. Again, the total amount was,
Show and tell?
see?
It's like 398,000, Mike, we were the most money of
Yeah,
all the towns.
yeah,
right?
there were approximately 20 towns, cities and towns that were awarded in this round, and actually the town of Hanson received the most amount of money, actually to the surprise of, to the surprise of some of the other communities that were there.
That's awesome.
It was a nice event. We were able to meet with some of the other communities and discuss our project and hear about their project. And it was attended by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Lieutenant Governor, the Secretary of Transportation, and the gentleman who is involved with actually the Highway Division of MassDOT. So I think the Selectman and the Chairman and I enjoyed being up there and representing the town of Hanson. There's a nice photograph that I sent to the papers. That I'm not sure if
Always
they
put the
used,
short
but
guys in the back, you
Yeah.
know? All you can see is my left eye. That's it, that's all you can see, but I
So-
tried to hold the sign up, so. But that's terrific, I'm really glad.
stuff.
And thank you again to Laurie Muncy. At the time, she
Yes.
wrote it for that grant.
yes,
And was our planning agent and accommodated that money. She's moved on to Old Colony Planning Council, where I hope she can do good things for us there.
and that's really all I have. A lot of what I had done was covered last week. So when we have the week to week meetings, it sometimes truncates my report. So
Okay, Laura?
Yep, I had a couple of, just like follow-up kind of things. Legal counsel, RFP, I'm just gonna rattle them off, then
Yeah.
you can just respond. Economic Development Committee, next meeting, social media policy implementation, and bylaw review. We had a while ago, before I even got elected, actually, you guys had talked about maybe undertaking a comprehensive bylaw review, which would entail, as you know, we've got to sync our bylaws up with state
state?
changes that
Yeah.
have been made, and then we've got to see if they're still even meaningful, and, what other changes might need to happen, and I just kind of want to put the bee in your bonnet that we should think about that, and maybe even if there's any willing people who would want to be on such a committee, which sounds torturous, and I do a lot of that for a job, but, that might be something we should kind of think about,
Sure.
assuming.
Well, you're right, the bylaw one, the town can have a bit more restrictions than the state on their bylaws, is that
I
correct?
believe that, yeah.
That's
you-
allowed,
You
so-
can't be
So
looser,
it's
you
not
can
complete,
stricter.
so,
Not on everything, though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, some things, like conservation you can
Yeah.
have,
Yeah,
you know.
you can't be,
yeah.
but we can't be totally off base,
No.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, but that's a good point, because the bylaw too, we also talked about, Mike, and I know it's low hanging fruit, about the enforcement officer, that's what I thought you were going with it.
Oh,
The enforcement officer.
no, good
for the
one
Board
though,
of Selectmen.
yeah.
So, I know that's on the list, Mike, okay. But, the social media policy is a big one too, and I know you were reviewing that with Leo, is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, there are some other changes that we're gonna bring before the board.
Leo's our town
Yeah,
council.
further than what we had voted, I forget how long ago you had voted the last one,
Yeah.
but we had Leo take a look at it. Jay and his people had originally put together, and then Leo took a look at it in relationship to the union contract, so he has suggested some changes, so.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. Legal counsel RFP and
Yep, that will be
economic
going out
development.
soon. Yep, that's
Okay.
on the list. I just haven't got around to doing it yet.
Okay, and then we'll set up some time to talk about the McQuon reuse.
Yeah, I think you and I, we had discussed having a meeting this Thursday, and there really wasn't much of a response. So, Selectman Kemet and I are going to get together in the next couple of days and, discuss how to move forward with it.
Sounds good.
Kenny, all set?
No, yep, I'm good.
Donnie? What do you want to talk about, Don? I know you got something on your mind.
No,
No?
no, I
Okay.
didn't know I was doing this.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were holding.
No,
Well, thank you very much.
everything's well
Yeah,
covered.
we're moving so smoothly, I'm getting nervous. I don't understand.
Keep it going, keep the
Yeah,
momentum
let's
going.
go. Moving on to the next item on our agenda. It's the approving of the minutes. There's one group of minutes I can't approve because I didn't attend the November 28th, 2017 minutes. So I'll have to be abstaining those. Item 11 on your iPads should be the Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. That's when we swore in Lieutenant Casey, and we also went into executive session. So I would ask
You do other ones except for the one you were in here?
well, I'll ask for each one for a vote, a motion to accept. So I ask a motion to accept the Tuesday, October 17th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. 4-0 on the 10-17 minutes, which I was. Okay, we have the November 28th, 2017 minutes, which you were the selectman, Mr. Mitchell.
Me?
Chairman.
Forgive me.
I know.
Selectman, you are a selectman, brother. You were the vice chairman. So I would entertain a motion to accept the Tuesday, November 28th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 3,
Aye.
nay, and abstain. 1 abstention, Mary.
Did Laura say no?
No, I said aye.
She said
Oh,
aye.
oh, I thought you said one, okay, one nay. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's going too smooth. See, you're getting nervous too, Mary. All right. We have the Tuesday, December 19th, 2017 regular meeting minutes. This was where all members were present. I would entertain a motion to accept the Tuesday, December 19th, 2017 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Laura.
Made and seconded. I'll let you decide who it is, Mary.
19th or 17th?
The 19th.
19th right there. Yep.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0 on the 12-19. Three, 0, 1 on the other one, on November 28th. All right, next we have the item 14, which are more minutes. This is the Thursday, March 15th, 2018 regular meeting minutes, where we were all present. I would ask for a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Made and seconded for the acceptance of Thursday, March 15th, 2018 regular meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0 minutes for 3/15 to 3/15/18. Okay. Last, no, not last, next to last. We have the Tuesday, March 20th, 2018 regular meeting minutes. We were all present. I would entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. No questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4-0 on the March 20th, 2018. Last on our minutes. And this is, Mary, this, is this regular and?
Yeah, did I put the executive session ones up there?
I think all we have is the
Executive
Executive sessions, that's the only one that's here.
Well, yeah, because we just voted on 320's minutes, right?
Both of them.
Yes, we
Yeah,
just
but I-
voted on regular
Yeah.
320.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm
I
paying
didn't know,
attention.
is executive session on the iPad?
Yeah,
Yes,
executive
it
session is
is.
on there.
Yep.
I just had one minor amendment, guys, for this executive session, and I would like it to say after the word performance, to say as relevant or as related to as related to the accomplishments, in parentheses. You understand what I'm saying, Mary?
Yep.
Open paren, end paren.
Yeah, good.
Where is that?
So under where it says, we can say this, we can talk about these aloud, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, but
okay.
they're
So where it
public
says,
record now.
discussion regarding Mr. McHugh's performance as related to the accomplishments, right?
Oh, okay, yes, I see what you're saying.
And the
It's
board's desire
Because
for
we didn't do a
conservation.
performance review.
Exactly.
Right.
We went
Yep.
over his accomplishments.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay?
Yep.
That's the only minor amendment I had to ask for. Is there anything else anybody has? Okay. I would entertain a motion to accept as read and amended the meeting minutes for Tuesday, March 20th, 2018 executive session,
So moved.
And release.
and release to the public.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0 on the executive session minutes for March 20th. Release to the public. Okay, we are at that point in our agenda where we talk about committee reports. We are at the 200th anniversary committee. Laura Kemet.
Not much to report other than what, Josh told us about. We're starting to put a little more meat on the bones and thinking about breaking into some subcommittees for particular events. So I would encourage people, if you might have a desire to be involved, but you don't want a lifetime commitment, you can certainly, talk to Marcus Lynn or really any member of the committee, and we can fill you in on the various events that we're gonna have, and you can just deal yourself in for that particular event and, show up for those meetings to help plan for that, and you don't have to be part of the rest of the committee.
Yeah, we need people. We need some new faces out there to
It's
step up,
gonna be
isn't
a
it?
lot of work.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of work, because basically, we're planning, the fundraising starts next year.
Sure.
So we've got fundraising events, and then we've got the actual events the following
occur,
year.
sure.
So it's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of fun, but it's gonna require a lot of, various talents. So pretty much anything that people like to do, we can find a use for you on one of the subcommittees.
thank you, Laura.
So I'm supposed to get you the name of the carnival guy too, right?
Yes.
That
Yep,
would be
Okay.
terrific.
yeah.
All right, I'll do
I would
that.
really like to see that in this town. I think the kids would be ecstatic, honestly. One Ponset Pond Committee, Mr. Howard.
I have not received any meetings since the last one.
Okay, thank you, Don.
And the same, the next one too.
I'll
We're
find-
meeting again tomorrow at 4 o'clock here in this room.
That's on the final Plymouth County Hospital
Yeah.
reuse, right? So meeting tomorrow at 4 PM, and then you got another, and then you
And
got
then
another
there's
meeting
the
at
other
7?
meeting on the well area on Area 5 or East Washington Street State and Old Pine Drive area.
So you
It's a
got-
meeting here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Is that a hearing?
No, it's just a
Okay.
meeting to explain to the residents of Hanson what's going on there. And I hope there's a lot of people show up, because there's a lot of questions that some people are asking and they're getting the wrong answers.
But just to give a little more detail around that, that's a potential site.
It's a potential site for drinking water for the town of Hanson. And it's, we were supposed to have a meeting on the first snowstorm we had.
Sure.
We were supposed to have a meeting on the second snowstorm we had. And we had a meeting last Wednesday night, and there was only 4 residents, because there was no way of communicating to the residents of the town of Hanson. So I scheduled a meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for anybody interested in the drinking water for the town of Hanson. And I'm gonna try to go through it from the start to the finish and where we are now. Up there, we're trying to get a roadway in on conservation land, which is going through Phil Clements, and for drinking water for the town of Hanson in years to come.
Hopefully it doesn't snow, huh, Don?
No, it won't snow tomorrow.
You hit all the good dates. Okay. Next on our agenda is the McQuon School Reuse Committee.
Yep, so Mike and I are gonna get together, hopefully this week or next week, and strategize next steps. We really need to try to expedite this process a bit and, think about the most efficient way to get something together to put before you guys. And again, in my mind, this may be overly ambitious, but I am hoping for something for the October town meeting, but that's just my own personal goal.
That's
But I want quality, so,
Yep.
you know, we're not gonna expedite it and forsake quality.
That's great, Laura, yeah, because the sooner we get rid of that, the less we have to worry about the insurance costs.
Yep.
Double check.
Next, we have on our agenda is the Hanson School Repair Committee. That would be under Mr. Hickey. He's not here. I can tell you, though, that I did attend that meeting on Thursday, and it was a good meeting. Mike, you were there, too?
Yes.
I asked Mr. McHugh to record that meeting, and I would ask him to remind all Board of Selectmen report boards to record meetings, just to get the word out there. The general consensus was that the board reorganized, they regrouped, and they did some discussion on the activities of that board and possibly the future outcome of it. So I would ask, you will be seeing it, it will be televised, so I would ask people to watch it. Okay, next we have the Highway Building Committee, Mr.
Nothing to report this time. We'll be meeting though within the next month just to kind of regroup, and I'm waiting for a call back from the engineer over there to see if we're on track for October.
On track
So,
for October.
Yeah. October town meeting that is.
Okay, cool.
And do you feel like you might, I mean, I hate to curse you this way, but do you think you might have something for the October
do.
town meeting? Okay.
I'm really feeling good about this one.
What are you gonna do with all of your spare time after that, Kenny?
You know? I'll find something else.
I'm sure.
I got one other
200th.
thing, Jim.
Yeah, 200. Don't stop, Mary.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Donnie, what?
No, I forgot to mention that Carol will be here tomorrow night, and she's going to TV it and
That's
broadcast it for
Great.
that water meeting, so that all residents of Hanson
So
will
if they
be
can't
able to
make it
see
here,
what's
they can
going on.
watch it at 7 o'clock tomorrow
Yeah.
on TV. Will that be live?
It's going to be live, right,
That's
Carol?
great. That's
Okay.
great.
Or
Nice.
at home, at a later date on YouTube, they can watch it,
Okay.
That's right.
if you're so inclined.
Well, we are at that hour. This was a quick agenda. Next time we have to beef it up a bit more, right?
Said
You
no.
were
Don't anybody
efficient.
jump at me.
Very
It
efficient.
was a very good meeting. I want to thank you all for attending. We made it, we were without electricity earlier today, folks. We almost didn't have this meeting. We had 5 minutes left to spare to make the call, and that's when
Lights came on.
lights came back on and we were with electricity. So, so hopefully everybody out there has electricity, and we would ask everybody, hopefully everybody's be safe, be well, and we'll see you next week. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Carol.
I would entertain a
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
4-0.
Good night.
We are adjourned. Have a good night.